welcome back to Otaku No Video. As always, thank you very, very much for joining me. Where you'll notice I am mic-less. I actually have a lapel mic this time, which is very exciting. Now I can gesture. And I'm here with a review of the Volume 1 of Bunny Drop. Yes, the Volume 1. No. Volume 1 of Bunny Drop by Yumi Unita. This is a kind of a shoujo manga, if you will. And I'm a really huge fan of it now. And I do need to explain the premise of it because, as it turns out, that is sort of fundamental to this, and being sort of more shoujo-ish. Now I say shoujo, it's still more realistic. You know, guys don't tune out yet. Anyway, basic setup, main character, Daikichi, is a 30-year-old guy, and he attends the funeral of his grandfather. And again, this is all premise, don't worry. And come to find out that his grandfather had a love child, who is now 6 years old, a girl, who is living with him. And no one quite knows what happened or what was going on there. The mother of this girl is nowhere to be seen. So grandfather's dead. She's very quiet, sort of alone in a corner, but also very, you know, she seems pretty collected. A little odd, but you know, she's a little girl. And as the funeral progresses, he sees how his other relatives are treating this girl. Kind of just like, oh, she's going to be an issue. Then they all get together to try to decide what they're going to do with this girl. Who's going to, you know, take her in, basically. Or is she going to have to, you know, be shoved off somewhere? And everyone has this very selfish attitude towards the whole thing. Oh, well, I can't because of this. I can't. I've already got 2 children. I couldn't possibly take on a third. All this kind of stuff. And Daikichi is so disgusted with how his relatives are approaching this little girl's future that he volunteers to take care of her. I should point out that it's not like in a fit of rage. He makes this decision very clearly and decides to take her home and take care of her. Now, 30-year-old guy, not married, no girlfriend, lives alone with a pretty high-pressure job. So he suddenly has to shift around a lot of things to, you know, accommodate this girl's life, preschool, you know, all that kind of stuff, daycare. This is a big sacrifice. And he doesn't know how long she's going to be with him. And that's what I really like, is that he's doing this because he cares about her, at the very least on a human level. And then as they spend time together, he starts really, really enjoying her company. And it's not that he starts out saying, I hate kids. But he doesn't hate her, ever. And it's this very sweet story of him sacrificing and making space in his life for her and seeing who she is and how she's developing and how she's growing and maturing and so forth. Now, in the back of my mind, whenever I think of these sorts of stories, I think, oh boy, is it going to get creepy. It does not. That's one of the awesome things about this story. I mean, she has to take baths, things like that. Rin is never shown naked in this. She's never even shown topless in this. And the Japanese don't have a big deal about that. They don't make a big deal out of that. But you know, this is kept very chaste. Daikichi never has any feelings for her on that. She never should, you know, there's none of that. There's actually a very realistic portrayal of these characters. I mean, you know, there are a few sort of visual style gag things where she'll get annoyed and she'll say something and, you know, her tongue will turn to a snake, that kind of thing. But beyond that, I mean, this is just about real life and 2 people thrown together and dealing with that and dealing with what a 6-year-old is like and trying to care for her but not really knowing what you're doing. There's a lot of elements of parenting in this, which is just wonderful. This is the manga to show to your mom or your dad, you know, the person who's like, what is this manga thing? Why are you reading all this kind of stuff? This is something they can get. They can really understand it. It's very easy to get into, very easy to appreciate the characters. And I can't think of a single thing in here that would turn anyone off. Really sweet story without being saccharine and without falling into typical manga cliches of that kind of a storyline. As you can tell, I really, really love this because it is good for manga in general and for appreciation of just the whole industry. So only the first volume so far has been published in America. The second volume is coming in a couple of months. A total of 7 volumes have been published so far in Japan. It is still an ongoing storyline. So we have plenty more to look forward to. I'm definitely going to be picking up volume 2 when it comes out, and I'm looking forward to a lot more of this, because this is just well-structured, realistic stories about life, and I'm so glad we have this.